Welcome back, guys. It's Israel. So Angular 17 is dropping on November 8th, and yesterday Angular did a whole 1-hour presentation going over what cool new features are coming in this new version, as well as where the future of Angular is going, and dropping this cool new little logo. And if you guys don't want to go and watch that 1-hour presentation or start reading blogs and boring articles about what's coming, then I got y'all. I already did all of that, so you guys don't have to, and I'm going to explain to you guys all the cool new features that you guys need to know about in Angular 17. And I just quickly wanted to thank my channel members for the support that they give me, and if you guys also want to support this channel, check the link in the description how you guys can also become members. But now, let's get into Angular version 17. So let's just start off right from the top, guys. So we now have a new Angular logo right here, so it's this now new kind of really cool purple and pink logo. So gone is the red shield, and now we're on to this cool new logo, which I like, as well as they've upgraded all their documentation. So it's now on angular.dev, and it's now has this very slick, kind of cool animation. I kind of like this, very satisfying to kind of scroll, and then you finally get here. But they've upgraded all their tutorials, all their documentation. So now it's actually kind of in the browser, right? They give you all this to play around with. It looks really cool. It's really clean. It's way better than what they had before. And I really love this, and they're going to keep updating it, and I'm really excited where they take this. But I think it's going to be really cool for anyone that wants to dive in, just either wants to find, I don't know, forms, or they just want to go do a tutorial to, start building their first app, do whatever they want, create components or loops or whatever you want to do. I think this is going to be so nice. I'm excited to see where they keep taking this website, and I think this was very well needed. Let's begin with my probably favorite quality of life change for Angular version 17. And that's we've replaced ngIf with @if, ng4 with @for, and ngSwitch with @switch. Immediately, this kind of gave me like Razor page vibes. For those of you that have done that, those are the vibes that it gave me. But let me show you guys how you would actually use these. So now we're at the snazzy new documentation. Just to say, this is in developer preview, so things could change or not be as stable. But I have a feeling with this stuff, it's probably going to stay pretty close to what it is now. So we have our if statements. @if, and then you're going to have your condition, and then whatever you're going to show right here. As well, you have if, else. I think it looks very clean, right? If you look at like one of my examples up here where we have like ngIf, I would much rather not need to have just like a random div and then have stuff of inside of it. I'd rather have something where like, oh, this div is just inside of here. And I think as you're scanning, it just would be easier to know, oh, these are what the conditionals are. And this is my HTML. I don't have to, I didn't read that there was an ngIf here, right? Or this ng4 is inside of here. I think it's just way clearer because it's just literally going to be just like @for almost. And it's just going to be completely different looking from the HTML tags. And I think it's just going to make it clear to the eyeballs to just quickly scan and be like, okay, I see what's going on, easier than kind of hunting through for the conditions, right? Moving down here, we're going to see again that we have the if for the conditional expression result. Now we have fors. So this is going to be our for loop @for. We're going to have our list that we're looping, and then we're going to be tracking. Tracking here is going to replace the track by. So this is again going to just increase performance and make them better as well. I think it's just very clean to look at again. I really, really, really like this syntax, man. Going down here, we just have a few more things that we can keep track of in our for loops, and you can combine them however you want, and you can keep track of whatever you need. Going down here, they also give you an option for an empty, so when you have no items in your list, it will just automatically show this. You don't have to do any extra conditions. Then your switch case is going to look very much like a switch case, but now it's going to be @switch with your cases and then your default case here. And like it says down here, it does not have a fall through, so you do not need to put a break or some type of return statement. And you do not need this default block. It's optional or can be omitted. And again, if the case matches the expression and there's no default case, nothing is shown. And now getting down here, again, we're going to see if replaces ngIf, switch replaces ngSwitch, for replaces ng4. And again, I think it just looks more appealing when you're just reading the code. I think it just looks better. And again, down here at the bottom, track is going to replace track by. This was something that they mentioned in the presentation, was something that a lot of developers would forget to do, and it would cause performance issues down the line. So they now just added this track in here, and that replaces that in your @for. But this was a really cool feature. I'm for sure as well going to be using this. And I got really excited about this, I'm not going to lie. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like on this video and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the other amazing Angular content that I have on this channel. And I just quickly want to bring up Angular signals because I definitely think they are still a part of the future of Angular. So go check out my Angular version 16 updates video for everything you guys need to know about Angular signals. Another one of the really cool features coming in Angular 17 are deferrable views. If you guys have ever done lazy loading or something like that, you guys have probably seen something like this when it comes to routes, where you tell it, hey, do this and then go to this component, right? But what if we had components inside of a component? So if we had, something that looks a little bit more like, let me see if I can get to the example that they have. Something like this, where you and are in a component and then you have other little components. It was not easy in previous versions. You would have to either do some sort of promise, async await, something very convoluted. It wasn't easy. It wasn't straightforward. But now, as you guys can see, they have another way of doing it. Just like the other templates for control flow, they gave us a defer. So very easily, we can just wrap our component in defer, and now it already knows to defer. So why would you use this? Because you want to speed up your application, cut down the bundle size, and just all around have your application perform better. You would maybe want to use this. One key thing that I did read is that your defer blocks can only work with standalone components. So traditional components, you cannot use this with. Let me get down to the part where it says that somewhere in here. You can use standalone and ng model-based dependencies inside of a defer block. However, only standalone components, directives, and pipes can be deferred. So just keep that in mind if you guys are using this at defer, is that it needs to be a standalone component, directive, and or pipe. Along with this, it just really gives you a lot of different options. You're going to have different triggers for when, to stop deferring and actually load your component in. They give you the ability to have placeholders, as well as I think they give you an error section. And I know they give you something for when it's loading so you can have your little spinner, things like that. So this is amazing. I think this is probably one of the best updates they have in this version, because definitely the old way for deferring was super convoluted, and this is just so clean, so nice, and I'm definitely going to want to be taking advantage of this feature, and I hope you guys do too. Now let's move on to hydration and SSR, or server-side rendering. If you guys don't know what this is, basically it's allowing you to reuse the HTML when you load a page, and then wait and add in the stuff from the server so that you don't get flickering, like you don't get an empty page and then values come in and there's like, oh wait, why did I have a blank page for a few seconds? It helps with that. Coming in now, it's going to be ready for actually production. It's production ready. Now you can create your Angular apps from the beginning with this SSR flag. So you can already have that enabled and you don't have to go in and add any of this client hydration or any of that stuff. It's already going to, be preset up. You can also, if you forget to put this, it will now prompt you. I'm sure you guys have seen the little prompts, like whenever it's like, oh, do you want to add styles or Angular material, or what do you want to use? Remind you, I guess, that you have it as an option if you want to add it in. So basically, again, performance increases. It's only going to get better. Your Angular applications are only going to look and perform better. And this is another great step forward. The build speeds have improved as well for SSR, as well as they said that in the future, they're exploring HTTP streaming. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that now going forward in Angular version 17, standalone components are going to be the default way of creating components. You can still use the ng module way, but going forward, standalone components, like I said in a video a really long time ago, they are the future of Angular. So keep using standalone components, but you do have the option to do the old way as well. But standalone components are the future. They also did mention that ES build and Vite are also the defaults now for builds, greatly increasing the build speeds. Another really cool thing that they show here is that on inputs, they're going to allow you to transform. They're going to have some built-in transforms, as well as you can also create your own custom transforms. But this is just going to be another really cool way that you can control what's handed to your components. So to wrap it up, guys, Angular version 17 is going to be another great release. Angular is just getting better and better and better, and the future looks super bright. Like always, they update to the newest versions of TypeScript as well. And we just have so many really cool features. I'm really excited to get my hands on it on November 8th, and I hope you guys get to test out all these cool new features. And if you guys want to learn any more Angular content, go check out some of my Angular videos here.